Yeah, we had a couple things happen. A couple things are happening. Huawei, they're committed, Will. They're committed. They're in it. They're not leaving planet Earth just yet. We spoke recently about how they still had plans of heading to Barcelona, regardless of the status of MWC, and they were preparing to do some sort of a virtual version of a presentation for some new hardware. We have a little more information now as far as what that hardware happens to be. It is the new Mate XS that we talked about as well. XS. For some reason, it's written, the S is small, the X is big. It's a foldable device, and it appears, I'm an outsider. I never got my hands on this thing. Huawei, they don't want to give me this thing.
No.
They don't want me folding this left, right, and center.
No.
They told me to take a hike.
Yeah.
I don't know
Come
if
to China or you...
Yeah, I don't know if they use those words. But I have to be honest, I'm a tough guy to coordinate sometimes as well. So I'll take some of the blame.
Okay.
Because I'm not traveling around.
Yeah.
Once in my life, different, when I was a different age, when I was a young man.
A young lad.
When I was a young lad, I could fly around to places, you know.
You're just holding your arms up like
Yeah, I could, I could float.
Yeah.
I could get myself to an airport and into a plane.
Yeah.
But now, man, there's people, there's things happening.
Yeah, you got priorities.
There's things happening. So anyway, so I appreciate when brands, we figure it out, we work it out. Both with Huawei, with the original Mate X, it never happened. It's one of those few foldables that I just didn't get my hands on. Mm-hmm. I was chasing that foldable. Mm-hmm. I never caught that foldable.
Yeah.
But it's okay. There's a new version now, and I'm sure Huawei's going to send it over here as soon as they see this clip. Looking at you, Huawei.
Yeah.
This is the moment when I need to wink my left eye, like it's a show from 1954, and then it's a little twinkle, like a little ding.
Mm-hmm. With the sound effect.
Yes. We don't have those capabilities on this show.
No.
But
Look, Kirk?
too late, Kirk. Too late. We talked about it. It's too late. Kirk says he could do it. Talk a big game over there. Anyway, so they come out with the XS, and to be honest, it's almost identical. Anyone who got their hands on it, all the reports I see coming out say, hey, this is not really an all-new version. Now, granted, they just put the S in the title, so they didn't, as far as the naming's concerned, it doesn't necessarily sound like an overhauled version. It's almost kind of like what Samsung did with the second version of the Fold. First version went out, and there were a couple of durability questions and issues, and they did some work on the hinge, and particularly some of the components around I keep it close. You see? You see how that works, Huawei? That's a Fold right there on the desk.
Sure it's not the Pablo one?
Hey, man. Hey, man. Yeah, so they came with the little covering on the hinge region, and so it seems like Huawei attacked the potential for a problem in the same way, though we don't know what the original status was because that thing never hit critical mass. I know it was sold in China, but we just didn't hear about it a lot over here. Now, they also upgraded the processor to the new flagship, the 5G Kirin 990 chipset. But, that's not a huge improvement over the previous version. The previous version, the 980, already had 5G support. They also took the opportunity to up the price a little bit. Oh, my goodness gracious. That's a price on that one. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, Will. That'll set you back.
Yeah.
You like that saying? It'll set you back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you gotta go. Guy like you, Will, you gotta work another hour to get that kind of dough.
Yeah.
Extra hour, put an extra hour, clock an extra hour.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that. You got things to do yourself.
Yeah.
Otis got the cone on his head.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing over here?
I gotta watch over him now.
Yeah, you can't spend an extra hour in this place.
No.
In this garbage can.
Yeah. What? Cleaning the toilets? Or?
$2,700 is the USD equivalent. It's going to be sold in Europe at, is it Europe? Well, China, of course, but I
The
believe it's also
UK?
going to be sold in Europe, right? Said that somewhere in there. Anyway, the equivalent, the conversion puts it at $2,700, close to a $3,000 smartphone now. Maybe they just feel like anyone who can afford that has enough money that if it breaks, they don't even blink. They don't even sneeze. They don't even scoff. 3,000. That's what those guys do.
Germs everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know who they are. That's what they do. They scoff all day long. You ever scoffed, Will?
Is that what Jack does sometimes?
Does Jack do that?
The exhale.
I always thought a scoff was a little more deliberate than that, but that might be a scoff. This particular individual from CNBC, is it Ryan Brown? Yeah, Ryan Brown. He says when he folded it, he heard a crunching noise, which is never really what you're looking for on, anything really, unless you're chewing on some freshly roasted peanuts.
Oh yeah.
Freshly roasted. I was driving over here. I'm driving. And I smell roasted nuts. You understand? Hefty price tag. They showed off in this particular article some of the multitasking capabilities. Again, not a ton that's new here, but Huawei, they just can't afford to slow down right now. They got to show the solidarity. They got to say, hey, we're in it to win it. We're with the customers. We're making smartphones. We go to events no matter what, and that's what they're doing here. So it's a slight little upgrade. Chip's a bit better. It's a bit faster, and they say the hinge is now better engineered, even if this particular individual felt it crunch. I will say to Huawei, I will put this device on the channel on Unbox Therapy. They just got to get it here. They get it here. I will unfold it. I will listen. I will get to the bottom of it.
While eating your...
Yeah, and yeah. Yeah, and the only crunching that will happen in that video.
There you go.
There you go. Because I'm going to pop over on the way. I don't know.